What Radio, the music you want.
With your host, Keys Dan.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
RadioWhat.com. What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? Where do you go? DJLittleRock.com, of course. My shows this week are, I'm at the Rab Thursday and Friday this week. So come on out. Thursday night starts at 7 p.m. It's a video dance party, karaoke jam, theme Thursday. Haven't quite figured out what theme. Maybe one-hit wonders. Maybe that's what I'll do in the background. You don't have to sing one-hit wonders, but it doesn't hurt. Also, they got free pool, so come out and sample the pool tables. And, they got the full bar. They got the kitchen open. They got that good Jersey Girl pizza, those hamburgers, chicken wings. I encourage you to try the chicken wings. They're delish. And that's Thursday night. And then on Friday night, I'm back at the Rab. 8 p.m. starts the show. They got a full bar. Kitchen's open. I think they're still serving breakfast around 11 o'clock till 1 in the a.m. And they have the pool tournament. Yeah, if you want to make some money while you're hanging out at the Rab doing your karaoke and dancing around, you might as well play some pool. Maybe you can make some money. If you have any aptitude to play pool, do it. They have the pool tournament on Friday night at the Rab. I like that place. They treat me nice. They treat me real nice at the Rab. And then Saturday, it's wedding season. I have a wedding. I'm kind of excited. These are some folks that used to do karaoke with me down in Cabot at Papa's Place. Sadly, Papa's Place is not there anymore, but they remembered me. They remembered me when they were getting married, and they said, hey, that Keys Dan, he's a good DJ. And little did they know, weddings are my specialty. Yeah, I do the karaoke jams through the week, but yeah, weddings, man. When I was in the Florida Keys, I do up to 100, even more weddings every year. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun. And I love doing weddings. So today on the program, doggy, we got us a nice lady. Her name is Amy Caswell Ellis. Every time I see her walk in the room, she's so fashionable and so sweet. Always got a big smile on her face. She bops in and just the room lights up. I'm just so happy to know Amy Caswell Ellis. And I know she sells jewelry. And I don't know a lot more about her, but let's give her a chit chat and find out more about Amy Caswell Ellis and jewelry and beyond. Calling Amy Caswell Ellis now.
Love you. Hello.
I guess I love you too.
I'm sorry.
Amy Caswell Ellis, please.
This is her.
This is her. Well, this is Daniel Keys Dan with the What Makes You Famous podcast, and you're on.
Awesome.
So, Amy Caswell Ellis, I've known you for a little while, and I know that you're doing jewelry these days. And I know we're going to get into that. You're a jewelry type lady, but where did
I am.
Yes, where did that all begin? Was it from an early age? Where did you grow up?
Well, I actually grew up. I've been an Arkansas girl my whole life. I'm actually originally from Northwest Arkansas, from a small town up there called Prairie Grove. It's about 20-30 minutes from Fayetteville. And I'm an only child, and so I've always been a girly girl. And being a mom of 3 boys, I really don't get the time to to be that girly girl much. But it's just, I've always had a thing for fashion and not really designer stuff, so to speak, but just Just fashion, clothes, jewelry, that kind of stuff to begin with. I did a lot of stuff like that when I was in high school. And I did a lot of community service work, and I worked at a boutique before, and it's just kind of was down deep in my blood. So, but the jewelry thing itself has come back into play over the last year.
Well, first of all, I'm digging your Southern Belle accent, and you're going to tell me I don't have an accent. You have an accent. I don't have an accent.
I get told that a lot. I get told that a lot, and I don't hear it, but I'm from the South, so I'll accept it.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I'm from further south than you. I'm from Miami, Florida. And back then,
wow.
In Fort Lauderdale, I went to high school there, and I was in DECA, the Distributive Education Clubs of America, and that has to deal with fashion marketing. So I designed my own clothes for a fashion show. Was that something that you kind of did in your high school time? What was your extracurriculars in high school?
Well, I tried drill team for a while. I did it for about a year and a half and didn't really dig it too much. I did home ec. Of course, that was a class we were required to do, and so I kind of fell in love with all that, although I'm not really a sewer who likes to sew or quilt or anything like that. It just kind of got me into just kind of like the clothes and the fashion industry. And something, too, for me is growing up, being an only child, my parents didn't really make a whole lot of money, and so a lot of my girlfriends I grew up with, their families were well-to-do, and they would go on these big vacations, and they would buy the name brand stuff from the Buckle and, all the high name brand stuff. And my mom has just always raised me, it's not about a tag, because you can lay 3 shirts out and you can have 3 different tags on them, and you rip the tags off and they're still a shirt. And so for me, I grew up doing resale, consignment shops, Goodwill shops, Salvation Army things, and I love it because I've been able to, now that I'm a mom, to really come into play now. I just basically was helping out some of my friends in school and just really kind of grew a passion for it. But then I got, when I actually moved to Bologna, it was because my dad was taking a church in Bologna, and so that kind of moved me to Central Arkansas.
Wait, Dad was taking a church?
Yes. He became a pastor of a church in Bologna, and once I graduated, I was still in high school, and so I never really had been to Central Arkansas, and so I never really got the chance to go to college, and so I became a parapro, a teacher's aide, and started substitute teaching and that kind of stuff. And so me doing selling clothes on the side and jewelry on the side has always just kind of been a way for me to make extra income. And but I just decided to stick with kind of one area. But I mean, I go shopping all the time at Goodwill and just find it's kind of like a stress reliever. It's my downtime. So I never really had any classes, so to speak, but it's always kind of been down deep in my soul, I guess you could say.
Well, dig it. You've thrown a lot of stuff at me, and we got plenty of time. I hope you have enough time. But what is a parapro? I saw that on your Facebook profile at Valonia High School. A parapro.
It's the professional technical term for a teacher's aide. Is all that it is.
Oh, okay. And what kind of things do you do for the kids, and what grades?
Well, I started out substitute teaching. And then I actually got my parapro license, which there is a test that you have to take in order to do that. And once I did that, then I actually was in special education, and I was a one-on-one, which means I had a young man with a disability who was nonverbal. And so I worked with him one-on-one for 2 years. And then that was our special ed class for that group was 1st through 3rd grade. And then the last 2 years, last year, and then this previous school year, I was strictly a 3rd grade teacher's aide for our 3rd grade teachers at Valonia Elementary.
Fantastic. I like teachers that you have a chance to shape young minds and dealing with special needs. It says a lot about your character, Amy Caswell Ellis.
It's I'm going to say, it's one of those things that I learned. I've always had a special heart for kids with special needs. But when you're put in that position, it's one of those things that, and I'm just going to say this because it's been told to me, and I've said it ever since I've been in the school system, no matter what school you're at, those teachers and teachers' aides do not get paid enough, because, you truly, the money becomes not the issue. It's, if you don't have the heart for it. I mean, I've had my earlobe ripped since then. I was also stabbed in the head with an X-Acto knife blade. So in order for me to do that and to still do my job, it is very stressful. It does take a toll on you at times, but that's when you have to just kind of, understand that it's not the kid's fault, because they were born with this disability. So you just truly have to have a heart for it. And so for anybody out there that currently does that, I've been in that position, and I truly commend them, because it is a job that's taken for granted, and there's not enough of them out there, honestly.
No, for sure. Now, let me clarify. The stabbing with the X-Acto knife, it was accidental?
No, sir. It was done on purpose.
Oh.
Yes. It was a young gentleman who had a very rough background, and it was one of those things of, he had the thing in his pocket. I had restrained him, and he had headbutted me in the chest, putting a softball-sized knot on my chest. He bit me, pinched me, and once, the thing about a restraint hold that you're always taught is once whoever it is releases their tension, kind of like a trust thing, they trust you that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And I had told him, once you calm down and relax, then I will let you go. Well, he did that and released his tension. I let him up, and he went over I was still sitting on the floor, and he went over to the window, and I still was just thinking, what am I going to do? Because he went right back into his rage. And so I was contemplating in my head what to do next. And luckily I had a witness with me, and we were just kind of contemplating back and forth. And the next thing I know, he's reaching down to what I thought was to give me a hug. And I felt something hit me in the head, which at the time I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a bobby pin, is what it kind of felt like. Mm-hmm. And once the restraining was over and the situation was over, when we looked, the blade had fallen out of his hand onto the floor. And so he'd had the actual blade in his pocket.
Wowie. Now, when I was thinking possibly about becoming a teacher in high school, I thought, well, let me do elementary school because they don't carry weapons, and here
right.
it is.
Yeah.
You
just never know, honestly.
But this was a child with special needs.
Right.
Okay. Problematic. Yeah. It takes a certain kind of person. Yep.
And it's one of the things is, unfortunately, yes, he intended to do it, but in all honesty, he honestly didn't. If that makes sense. So it's kind of one of those things. It comes with the job. You never know what you're going to have. It's just one of those things, if God tells you to do something, you got to do it. And that's, at that point in time, that's what I was put on there to do. And so I did what I had to do.
Well, it sounds pretty adventurous, and it does, once again, speak to your character. You're painting a picture, Amy Caswell Ellis. You're a person that's taking care of children, and you have struggles with them. It's not just, children that quote unquote would be normal. There's people that have special needs, and you're helping to fill those needs, and I appreciate you. My goodness. Now,
thank you.
Yeah. Now you say Dad's a preacher man. Has he always been?
He's been ordained since he was 18.
Wow.
And
what church?
But he was never a pastor.
Right.
That whole time. Well, I take that back. He did pastor a short time before I was even born, I believe. A place in Fort Smith, yeah. And then we attended a church in where I grew up in Northwest Arkansas. But he was the youth leader. Him and Mom were youth leaders there. And then when he moved here, he pastored Centerpoint Free Will Baptist that's in Bologna for 15 years. So
mostly Baptist church then?
He's not currently there anymore. He hasn't been there in probably about 6 or 7 years, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
So right now he just attends and he fills in. We attend First Assembly of God in Bologna.
Oh.
But he'll fill in, and he's done that before. So he still is an ordained minister. He's just an actual pastor of a church at this time.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in religion and what's the difference between the First Church and the Baptist Church? Is it more relaxed or is it just different? What's the difference?
There's a little bit of difference. It's basically between Baptist and Assembly of God. Their Assembly of God is more of your uppity churches.
Yeah.
Where they raise their hands and a lot of standing and they kind of do the Assembly of God. They speak in tongue.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I don't really know all the depths of that. That's more on his kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But with Real Baptist, they're just kind of more laid back. They still kind of do the hymns out of the hymn book, and they'll do some contemporary Christian music, but they're just not as charismatic, I should say. More of the uppity stuff.
No, I appreciate whatever feeling you get to do your praise, your worship. Whatever helps you in your daily life. I'm all for it. So raise your hand, sing a song, do a little dance. That's great. That's fantastic.
Right, absolutely. And that was one thing I always was for is he was never the kind of pastor though that told them to not raise their hands or to not do that kind of stuff. So it's all about personal opinion. Yeah.
So that's Dad, and I guess you had that growing up, but that base of
I do.
Base?
My grandfather's actually still a pastor. He's been a pastor for a little church, and it's called Natural Dam, Arkansas. It's about a church of 100, so they're really kind of small. But he's been a pastor there for, oh my goodness, probably 56 years, I think.
Wow, that's great.
So he's a pastor, and my mom's youngest brother, they also go there, and he's also the assistant pastor.
Wow.
And then my whole family is very musical. I sing, my dad sings, my mom sings and plays the piano. My aunt sings and plays the piano. My uncle plays the bass and he sings. My other uncle plays the piano and sings. So we're all kind of music. I've told them I really don't know why we don't have our own charter bus and on the road, but
yeah, something something with little birds or partridges on the side, perhaps.
Right.
No, wow, and it sounds like your life could have gone that way. Now you sing primarily, and do you play an instrument? You say?
No, not really. I mean, I did saxophone when I was in 6th grade, but that didn't last long.
Oh, for sure. But you sing.
No, I'm not musically inclined in that direction.
No, but you sing like a bird, and I appreciate
you
whenever you come around to karaoke. And I was hoping you were going to sing the other night when you came in, but sadly you had to go in and out.
I will. You can count on it. I was just kind of feeling like chatting with my girl that night.
I appreciate that, and it's nice, that. Hey, I'll give a little shout out to the Rab, as that's where I'll be.
Absolutely.
Thursday and Friday night this week, and we'll do some playtime. So, Amy Caswell Ellis talking to you on the What Makes You Famous podcast, and you're you have a background in religion and fashion, and you took saxophone for a little bit, and you're a singer, and you kind of touched on what mom does. What does your mom do?
My mom actually is the accountant for our Free Baptist State office that's actually located in Conway off of Harkrider.
Yeah.
And so basically all the Free Baptist churches in Arkansas, any monies that go to their church for certain accounts, whether it's like their missionaries or our church camp that's statewide, anything like that, she handles all the money from all the statewide.
That's a big responsibility right there.
It is. It is.
Do you think you got some of that responsibility taught to you by your mom?
I mean, I definitely would say my mom has instilled in me the biggest thing is like how to deal under pressure, because one thing about it being and watching my mom being a pastor's wife is enough stress as it is. And I know people probably wouldn't think that, but there's a lot that goes behind that. And so being in a family like that and her holding a full-time job and supporting my dad and whatever he's done, I can definitely say she has instilled that in me to not give up, and that times are going to get hard, and that's when, you know, that's kind of she actually does the jewelry thing with me as well.
Oh, no.
So I get to work with her and just have that bonding time. But she's instilled in me, you don't give up, and, you know, you press through the hard times, and no matter what life throws at you, you gotta be strong and be bold and get through it.
Oh, it's good that you're tight with mom. Okay. And then you said you had some siblings?
No, I do not.
Oh,
I'm
you
actually
didn't.
an
Okay.
only child.
Yeah, but you said something about you had boys that you grew up with.
Well, I have 3 boys of my own.
Oh,
but
I got you.
I grew up with a lot of girlfriends, and then their siblings. So I mean, I had close friends that were like siblings, but
Yeah.
it's just me, myself, and I right now.
Hey, that's great. I mean, and that means that they poured all their love, all their knowledge right into you, and whatever they
Well, they
had.
have tried. They have attempted.
Hey, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it's kind of one of those things. If I'm not going to say that, you know, and I'm sure this is with most people, but, you know, you try to take your parents' advice, but you all rebel at those point in times, and sometimes you got to learn the hard way. So I'm admitting, you know, that I haven't always taken their advice, but I've learned that there are some times that, yes, I wish I would have had some siblings, obviously through some hard times, but also I'm just very blessed that, you know, I've got the best parents in the world, that times that I haven't deserved love, that they've loved me unconditional. So I can't complain at all. I'm very blessed.
Oh, everyone deserves love, and I'm glad you had it. Now, yes, I think I've mentioned it before on this podcast that, you know, once they become a teenager, they might rebel a little bit against you, but then they get into their 20s and they realize, hey, they still need their moms and dads, and they love you.
Right, absolutely.
And it looks like you went right back to mom, and you're working with mom a little bit. That's great. Now,
Yes.
okay, now, let's see. Well, let's get in after high school. You did go to some kind of college to do your paraprofessional. What other interests did you have?
Well, my biggest love is horseback riding. I grew up on a farm with one side of my grandparents, and with my dad's mom and dad. And so that's always been my go-to. And so my still dream that I don't know when it'll happen or if it'll get to happen, but it's still a big dream of mine, is to own a special needs dude ranch.
Yes.
And here locally. And it's going to be for anybody, ages 5 to 90 or 100, whatever. And it's just going to be for anybody that even if they're where they can't walk, you know, I want it to be a place where people can come that have disabilities, even if they're on their deathbed and they want to go for a ride one last time, because it's very therapeutic. That, you know, I have a place for them to come and do that, because learning and working with special ed kids, courses are very therapeutic. And even for someone who doesn't have special needs, I've been very blessed. It's therapeutic for me, and they are very nurturing animals. And so that's been a big passion of mine for a long time.
What a great idea. I remember in college, we had a summer camp that we would volunteer in my fraternity and myself. And, you know, when you're in college or when you're in your 20s, your early 20s, you think about community and you try to help out. And I remember there was a summer camp that I used to do every summer. It was for kids that had cancer, and what it is, their parents, they need breaks, and what you can do with this dude ranch once it gets up and running. And I fully believe that you're going to do this. If it's in your head, you're going to do it. It is what you take the stress off of the parents, if not even for a week, maybe a day or a few hours, where the parents can just, you know, take off. And because you have this love and this knowledge of how to take care of special needs kids, you'll be able to handle many of the situations that could arise. And that what a great idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I hope it comes true, but you know, it's one of those things that's slowly but surely kind of in the works. But I think it'd be a great addition to Central Arkansas around here.
For sure. Now, you said horse riding. Do you still do horse riding?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
You have a horse?
I do. His
What?
name is Bandit. He is he's almost 19 or 20 now, I guess. He's a flea bit gray, gilding.
Oh, my.
And so I still have, my ex-husband and I had a farm that we leased out in Valonia. And so he's still out there with friends of mine. They keep their animals out there as well, their horses. And so I have him, and then we also have a little miniature pony named Pumpkin, and he's probably 3 foot off the ground, if even that tall. Sweet little Ofang, like a red with blonde mane. He's just as sweet as he can be.
No.
So, yeah.
What can you do with a miniature pony?
Well, I mean, basically they're just a yard pet, but I mean, a lot of people, I've known some friends of mine, an older couple that used to live next door to me when I lived in Valonia and Dove Creek. They actually had one that was not even 2 feet tall, and they had him and they kept him in their house. He was actually house trained. But ones like what I have for Pumpkin, which he doesn't, but a lot of times I do, or I don't do them, but I go to the National Chuck Wagon races in Clinton, Arkansas that's held every year.
Oh, yeah.
And so a lot of those small ponies are used for that. So they'll use to like carry a cart, a little wagon to pull you around in is mainly what the little ones are known for. That
is pretty neat. See, you are community-oriented, Amy Caswell Ellis. you got your fingers deep into it. And I always say everybody has a story, and I never know where these things are going to go. And you're fascinating me. And I'm sure you're going to be fascinating the listeners as well. But, okay.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. I'm looking. All right. I'm stalking your Facebook page as we speak, and I'm looking at your header, and it says, "My loyalty is something you never have to question. I ride for mine, whether it's a friendship or relationship." What does that mean to you?
Basically, that just means to me, like, if I know you're true to me and you need that one person, if everybody else has given up on you, and you've never done me wrong to the point where I would have no reason to give up on you, who turns their back, I'm going to ride or die for you. I mean, I've got friends right now that there's been times that they've had nobody else to turn to, and they've been on some dark, deep roads, and I'm not going to say that I haven't. My story goes way deep, and we ain't got anywhere near enough time for that, but, it's one of those things of being an only child. There's been times that I've needed somebody, and I've just felt really alone and in a dark place, and not really felt like I had anybody to go to. Not necessarily that I couldn't go to my parents, but it's just knowing you have that one person, and to me, that's loyalty. It doesn't matter what time of night. There's one of my really good friends, and they know right now, it's ride or die. If they need me, all they got to do is call. And I truly believe that in a relationship as well. I'm not going to hang my baggage out there, obviously, but I know that, in a marriage and a relationship, no matter what it is, you have to be loyal to that person 100%. And that's who I am. And no matter how bad I've been done, I've never purposely done bad on somebody else. So just know that, like, if you, so to speak, in the realm of things, just know that if you've never done me wrong and don't have a reason, no matter what, that's, to me, you have to have that one person that is your ride or die, no matter what the case is. They're going to be there to back you 100%.
I like that, Amy Caswell Ellis. We have as much time as you want. This is your podcast. You tell your stories. You tell what you want the people to know. But I like to treat people as I'd like to be treated. I like to, show everybody the respect that I'd like to be respected with. And everyone's a friend until otherwise. Really,
right.
I don't see bad in people for the most part. And then I would hope that there's plenty of love to go around. And I'm hoping you're getting the love you need as well from your friends and family and anyone else. So,
oh, for sure.
Yeah. And wow. Okay. So you horses, you're a paraprofessional, and and you're a jewelry expert. I've heard things. I've seen things. You come up on my feed, my Instagram and my Facebook feed, and you're showing off jewelry. Tell me about that.
I am. Well, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fixing to get into it full-blown, full-time the end of this month. But basically what it is I sell paparazzi jewelry, and it's $5 jewelry. It's I sell rings, earrings, necklaces that come with a free pair of earrings, and bracelets. My stuff is nickel and lead free, and the company is just a really good company. And I've been with them since last August, and it's just been one of those things that, like I said, being a mom of 3 boys and also growing up not having a lot of money, I've always wanted to be fashionable, obviously. And I've done another company that is still running, selling jewelry, but it just was not affordable even for me to try to sell it. And when I came across this from a friend of mine that's in California, I just saw it and knew that it was something very affordable and very fashionable. And so, I mean, I love it. It's what I love to do. And so I do weekly shows. Normally, I do them every Thursday night on Facebook, and you can catch me under Amy Caswell Ellis is my name on there, like you've mentioned, on my actual page. And I also have a VIP group if you send me a friend request. And that's just basically for anyone that wants to kind of get some insights. Sometimes I'll do little giveaways on there. I might do just a snippet show of some new things coming in, and I have my own website. And so it's something fun for me to do. And it's been one of the biggest blessings just to have something to do on the side as to extra income, just to make ends meet and to have bills to be paid. Or if the boys want to go do something, I have extra money to be able to go do that. And so it's been a huge blessing. But that was one of the biggest things for me is living on a tight budget and still wanting to look fashionable and trendy. I can offer that for these young girls and women who want to do the same, but their funds is tight as well. It's very good jewelry, and it's a lot of fun. I have so much fun doing my live shows. We have so much fun, and I always give away free stuff. So it's so much fun, and I always try to say hi when I see you pop on there, because I can kind of see at the bottom whenever it shows me at the bottom when someone's watching. And so I'll try to make sure and at least say hi to everybody that I see pop on. So I hope you hear me whenever I holler at you.
I do.
Shout out.
I do. And I don't want to be a creeper or anything like that, but it shows up on my notifications. Hey,
Yeah.
Amy's doing a video. And I say, well, let's go check this thing out. And I'm interested in fashion, and I'm looking. You have your paparazzi accessories.com shop that is connected to your Facebook, and I'll definitely put that in the show notes so people can see.
Awesome.
And that way you get the credit for the sales, of course, because hey, that's part of the deal. Is hey, we're trying to support Amy Caswell Ellis. Now,
well, I appreciate that, but yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of things. I mean, obviously, I can't. I mean, our website is full of new stuff, and we get new stuff 3 to 4 times a week. And so there's no way possible that I can keep everything in stock. And so I have that on there so that people can go on there and they can order whenever at their convenience, and just order on their lunch break, or, if they're watching the kids play or whatever. It's just easy for them to go on there and check it out.
Now, you actually do have a briefcase full of jewelry, or a box full of jewelry at your place that people can look through and take advantage of?
I do. I try to get as much stuff on hand as I can. I try to order at least something every week, and it takes me about 4 to 5 days to get into it. But I try to keep stuff on hand so that I can do my live shows every week. So, yeah, I mean, I do have some stuff on hand, and I try to keep ordering. But the end of this month is when I'm really going to start doing it, and try to start doing maybe 2 to even 3 shows a week, because I'm going to be having that much jewelry. And so I don't want to spend one day doing a 6-hour show and waste everyone's time. So, but yeah, I mean, all they'd have to do is hit me up on Facebook, or, if there's something that someone wants, because we also do colors as well, on there. And so if there's a certain color you're looking for, you can just have someone can send me a message and say, hey, will you keep your out for something yellow? Or I'm looking for a turquoise pair of earrings or whatever the case may be. And so I may not have it on me, but I will do my very best to get it.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm looking at the jewelry, and you said $5 jewelry. It doesn't look like $5 at all. It looks quite impressive.
No, it really doesn't. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the biggest things for me is, I wear my jewelry all the time, and I've actually sold it off my wrist or, like a bracelet. And because, a lot, that's the thing about it is, with us getting new stuff 3 to 4 times a week, it goes so quickly. And so they will sell out very quickly. And so, I mean, everywhere I go and get complimented on it, I pass out business cards all the time because people compliment me on it and they just can't believe that it's only $5 and that I sell it because it looks like a lot more. Especially like we have, right now we don't have any, but I have a couple pairs of the earrings with the fringe on the bottom, and they are huge. I mean, it's a big thing right now, anything with fringe like that. And I had a friend of mine who said she just bought a pair of earrings and paid $12 for them, and mine were only $5. And so she was really excited about that. So yeah, it does not look like $5 at all.
No, and you said you're going to do different videos. You could break them up into earring day, wrist day,
yes.
Necklace day. Today we're focusing on this particular thing, and I'm looking at the little dangly earrings. They're pretty cool. I got no place like homest, no place like Homestead, and then Cry Me a Riviera, the dip
right.
glow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm working to. And a lot of times, if you watch my shows, I try to do all of my rings at one time, and I'll do all my bracelets at one time. And that way, if someone happens to tell into my show, because at each show I always do a recap of the things that did not sell that night, the items still available. So just like yesterday, I had a lady in California. She screenshotted 2 rings that were in my show to ask me if I still had them. And so I do that for a reason, so they don't have to go back and watch the whole entire video and ask me if it's still available, to scroll all the way to the end to find out what items are still that I still had. So yeah, that's going to be my new thing, is because I'm going to be getting so much inventory that my shows are going to be strictly one item. Well, not one item, but one category each night.
That is very cool, man. I like that you're into the fashion. Like I said, I did fashion marketing, and you may not know it. I mean, I do wear my little bow ties and my suspenders, and let me know.
That. Very fashionable.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know when you get into that area, because I'll definitely get my bow ties and my suspenders from Amy Ellis. Because
absolutely,
and every time I see you, you're very fashionable. Even on your casual days, you're still, and I see you in your sunglasses, and yeah, you're a cool cat, and it's really cool talking to you. So, what other avenues do you foresee in the future for you and maybe your kids or what have you? What are they up to? What are you up to?
Well, right now, I mean, I'm a sports mom, of course. All 3 of my boys are in sports. And so I'll be with that. I have, my oldest son is 14 and he's, going to be in 9th grade this year. My second son, middle son, is 12. He's going into 7th grade, and my youngest is 11, who's going into, oh my gosh, what grade is my child going into? He's going into 5th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's going in this. Yeah, I think he's going. Heaven help! I got so many children, I don't even know. No, I'm just kidding.
And she lives in a shoe.
Anyway, so well, they keep me busy for sure. But right now, I mean, I actually just this past school year decided not to renew my contract with the school, so I will not be going back as a paraprofessional because I would like to have my jewelry thing full time. And one of the biggest things with talking with a lot of the moms and ladies that I work with is back before the tornado hit in Valonia, we had a resale consignment store, and, there's nothing in Valonia. And so that's another avenue I would like to, venture out into, is because I do know, like I said, I've always had a heart for that. 99% of my clothes come from a resale or consignment store. I cannot tell you how many times I would, when I worked at the school, this last year, I would do afternoon car duty, which means I would stand outside and I would call the kids' names as their parent drove up. And so I would have all these moms, and I'm not, please, I don't want to sound prideful, but they would compliment me on my clothes.
Yeah.
And like I have this one shirt in particular that I get complimented all the time, and it's a leopard print shirt with a white racerback on it. Well,
Yeah.
I paid $1.50 for it at Goodwill,
That's
no
great.
one believes that. And so I would like to venture out into that. The older my boys go, it just kind of depends on, what avenues they decide to go down. But right now I'm just kind of taking a breath and just doing my jewelry and really want to get it off and running and just be able to just have that free time to be the mom that my boys need me to be and be able to be more hands-on with them and be able to go to their school events and all that kind of stuff because I haven't gotten to. And so just really, and also have that, not so much of a financial strain to where, when they want to go do something, that I have the finances to do it. And Paparazzi has been there to do that somewhat. But the fact that I'm really going to start building at the end of this month is I'm really hoping going to take off for me and do very well.
I'm hoping so too, because the kids need their mama, and and it's good that you're family oriented and you spend time with them. A lot of times, parents have to work, and you don't see the kids, and I'm glad
Right.
you're making efforts, you're making strides to find a job that not only pays the bills, but it gives you your own time that you could work around their schedule if they have sports events and other events that they want to attend, and that means a lot to the kids. You're painting a picture, Amy Caswell Ellis, that you're a good mama, and you're doing it on your own, as far as I've heard, and that but yeah.
Well, that's been one of the biggest issues because there for a while, being an only child, I never really felt independent because I've always had conscious issues and self-esteem issues, and so it's really big for me right now to show them that being a single mom, that no matter what, like I said earlier, my mom kind of instilled that in me, whether she truly actually sees it or not, but that you don't have to be with somebody to make it, and even when the hard times come, you do what you got to do. And, one of the biggest things, and I'm not ashamed to say this, is, my boys have seen me, I donate plasma. And that's one of the things that, you do get money for doing that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that they're like, well, Mom, why do you do that? And I said, well, it's one of those things of, it's a blessing for everybody, because I've come to learn that plasma is something that a lot of people need actually. And it's a lot of medications. But also it helps those of us that maybe need an extra $40-50, to pay a bill or to just put food on the table. And so I just want them to see that, I am here for them, but more than anything, to let them know that, that they can stand on their own 2 feet, even if the world's against you, that they can make it.
Hey, life is a hustle, especially if you got kids. You got responsibilities. You're going to do whatever you
absolutely.
can to make sure that they got what they need. And if they're in sports, they're going to need gloves
so
and balls and jackets and whatever, uniforms.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it gets so expensive.
Now you were going all the way back to the teaching thing. You were saying that they don't get paid a lot, and what the thought that went through my head is, do teachers still have to buy their own supplies?
Well, that's yes and no.
Okay.
What we do at Bologna, I don't know how other school districts do, but each teacher's classroom, they ask for a supply fee. Used to, when I was growing up, all the kids, you'd have a supply list. And there's still a few things that the older they get that they are individually required to buy for each class. But in the elementary, there are supply fees that go into that classroom. So the teacher has money in their account to buy whatever they need. So, now there is, yes, if they decide to do stuff separate on their own, then yeah, it is. But, people just think that, teachers make a ton of money. And I'm not just saying this for Bologna, because it's not just Bologna. It's every school district in the world that, it's just, it's one area that you think, oh, well, they've got it made. Well, they really don't. I mean, as much as our government just harping down and so much stuff is changing, you know, our teachers are fabulous, and the ones at Valonia are absolutely amazing. And shout out to them because they're amazing teachers, and our superintendent there is wonderful. But it's just, you know, all of our school districts, it's just, you know, when I grew up, it just seemed like the community and stuff helped a lot more. And you know, because the parents, it didn't put so much strain on the teachers as far as, you know, needing everything. But I mean, it's the way that it works now. I mean, our teachers, as far as that, they get, you know, they have supplies, so that stuff does not come out of their pocket, and the school districts do provide that kind of stuff for them. So basically all that they have to pull out of pocket is just stuff that they want to do on the side, or, you know, extracurricular things for their classes. But my biggest thing was just saying, you know, for special ed, there's people that go into it thinking it's going to be an easy job.
How are they thinking that? How are they thinking that? These kids need help.
I don't know. I mean, but it's also one of those things too, that it's the most sought after job because there's just very few there. I mean, because a lot of people get scared, they get nervous. They don't know what to expect. And that's what I was saying earlier. That's when your heart really has to come into play, because if you don't have a heart for it and take the money aside, then you're never going to make it. Because, you know, you have to understand that when you walk into this room that, you know, these disabilities the kids have, it's not the kids' fault, you know, and it's not even the parents' fault. It's just life happens. And, you know, you just got to take it. And I love my kids, even the ones that I had my first couple of years that have moved on. I mean, it melts my heart when I see them out and about, and they'll come run up and give me a big old hug. I mean, there are huge benefits from it that just mean the world and makes your heart melt.
Yeah, it's nice that you live in the community, and I'm happy that they have you, but they still remember you. Hey, Mrs. Ellis, it's you, and they'd still come up and give hugs. That's got to give you a good feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's still teachers that I remember, even at my old age. You know, I'm 50, and I still remember all the kids. You know, hey, I remember the teachers that helped me the most. You know, and the kids are going to remember you when they're 50. You know, and hopefully they make it that long. Yes, make it.
Right. Absolutely.
and
absolutely. I would love that.
Amy Caswell Ellis, man, I'm having a good time talking to you. And it's horses and singing and jewelry and teaching, and there's so many aspects, and motherhood, and okay, you've got 3 kids, and you are doing it on your own. My goodness, how can you do it all? And these kids are young.
I mean, they are. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's just been put on my plate, and I just haven't had a choice but to do it. Yeah. You know, you never really know what life's going to throw at you. But I mean, you know, did I think a few years ago I'd be where I'm at now? Never in a million years.
Right.
But the thing is I've made a believer out of myself more than anything to know that I can do it, you know? And so, my boys are my world, and I love them. And, you know, I just felt like over the last few years, I just haven't got to be the mom that I really have wanted to. And so I'm really looking forward to this next year, to see what life brings, and just all the good and the bad. I mean, I know it's not all going to be icing on the cake, that you're going to like. But I'm more prepared. And I think every day that, goes by, I just learn a little bit more, and I just take it for the blessings, and just know that there are going to be storms, but you know, you just gotta know how to hang on.
You're getting out there, and you're following your dream. You're following your heart. You're following a plan that you have to not only help yourself, but your children and your community, for that matter. I mean, I are you still in the church?
I go to First Assembly whenever I can.
Okay. Yeah.
But with me living in Conway, it's just kind of a hard drive.
Yeah.
Back and forth. But I mean, there's a bunch of good churches around, and I just say you got to go where you get fed, and it's not the name on the church.
Oh yeah.
Because in heaven there's not going to be a church. It's all going to be one body, and so I just believe that as long as you know where you're going and you have that relationship with God, and you have your head on straight and you trust Him, then you've got it made. So.
Sweet. Well, how do the people get a hold of you, Amy Caswell Ellis?
They can look me up on Facebook under Amy Caswell Ellis, and they can send me a friend request if they want to join my VIP group, or they can. I should say, I don't know.
I'll definitely put the link to the paparazzi that you have.
I should say, if you'll put the link in the bottom, that's probably going to be the easiest way because Facebook is my number one thing.
Oh, yeah.
So they just want to look me up on Facebook, and then my jewelry website's on there. They can send me a private message, and then I can guide them to anywhere they need or have any questions, or even if they're just hearing this and maybe they're going through a hard time and they just need someone to listen. All they got to do is let me know in the message in Facebook, and they can know that they've got someone to rely on.
That is so sweet. And you're a good follow on Instagram, Amy Ellis, 58.
Awesome.
I'll definitely put that on there too. And people can see you and the boys doing their thing and just growing up and just loving life. And I'm so glad I got to talk to you, Amy Caswell.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Oh,
I really appreciate it, Dan.
No worries. If there's anything else you want to say to the people?
I mean, the biggest thing I can say, if I was to give one piece of advice, is, because I didn't go into this, and I'm not going to, but this is where I just want to leave with a piece of advice. That your life is worth living. And don't let anyone tell you, no matter how dark or how deep it gets or how deep the hole feels, that, you have a purpose. And if you're breathing and you have breath still in your lungs, and you have a purpose. And so just do not give up on that. If you have children, which I know 95 to 99% of every American does, but just look at them and know that if nothing else, that you're their purpose. And so everyone goes through valleys, but the thing is there's always a mountain on the other side. So you just got to keep your head up, think positive, reach for your goals, find something that you love and dig into it, and just make it your passion.
Amy Caswell Ellis, sounds like you've been through some struggles, but you're coming out in the light. And thank you so much.
Absolutely, and I appreciate it so much, sir.
You calling me sir is like putting an elevator in an outhouse. Just call me Dan.
It's just habit. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. That's Southern upbringing. Good mom, good parents, good dad. Oh yeah, for sure.
It is. It is.
All right, good talking to you, Amy Caswell Ellis. Think we got it?
We got it. Thank you, sir.
All right, talk to you later. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Party people in the house. See, what did I tell you? Everyone has a story. I never know where these things are going to go on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Amy Caswell Ellis has a story. She had a cool upbringing, Northwest Arkansas, Southern Belle type girl, good, parents that, trained her right. Mom taught her some responsibility. Dad taught her about the churching, and, she grew up right. And here she is in Conway, Arkansas with kids of her own and doing her thing. I wish all the best for you, Amy Caswell Ellis, in your jewelry business, your clothing consignment business, and beyond. I see nothing but good things. Just follow your dreams. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle. You never work harder than when you work for yourself. When I gave up all my Joe jobs and went into DJing full time, it was, quite a struggle. But, I do other things too. I keep always a hustle. Life is always a hustle. And Amy Caswell Ellis, you're a hustler. Good job. You had that strong base, and you're teaching it to the kids. Now they're getting that knowledge from you, and not just your own kids, but the kids in school. I'm glad they have you. And I hope that horse thing with the specifics on special needs horse riding dude ranch, I hope that comes into light. That sounds like a great endeavor. I see that. I see that happening. The Ellis Dude Ranch, the Caswell Dude Ranch, the Amy Dude Ranch. Yeah, whatever you want to name it. You're going to do just fine. All right. Well, that's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous, the podcast. If you want to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.
Radio What? The music you want. Hey guys, this is Shelly G with a fast fact. Playing cards were known in Persia and India as far back as the 12th century. A pack of them consisted of 48 instead of 52 cards. Do you have a fast fact? Share it with us at Interactive Radio, radiowhat.com.
Tweet, yo. Follow Radio What on Twitter at Radio What Twit. Tweet, yo.